So welcome everyone to Murder Maps. This is the first data visualization challenge for the Data Dragons. Please mute yourself when not speaking. The recording is available on YouTube afterwards. And then finally, this is a learning environment, so please critique the work and not the human. Then, important notice, today we are looking at essentially crime-based statistics, and it would be easy to make simplifications or generalizations from the data that do not take into account the greater socioeconomic landscape, structural exclusion of certain communities, and the prevailing context that is within each area. In addition, making machine learning predictions or things like that on crime-based data can at times be unethical if we say that certain groups of people are more likely to perpetrate crimes than others. So I have refrained from doing that today. Anyway, cool. So there is that. Now, cool. I am going to share my screen, and then we're going to move into Brian. And hello, Fundo. I'm so sorry if I said your name incorrectly. Cool. Okay, so Murder Maps. So what is the SAPS crime data? It is essentially the counts of crimes per year for various types of crimes in South Africa. And it's pretty much, you can see I've just aggregated it per year and then put it per province. And I've basically done a basic tally there. Anyway, so now we go into the various things. So I've grouped the cohorts into various crimes and showed you each one where I'm focusing on different types of crimes, and then the percentages per province, and of course the concentration of crimes within South Africa across all years given. But obviously, while I was doing this, I was realizing that the main reason that they tend to be clustered throughout these within the Western Cape, Gauteng, and Eastern Cape is mainly because of the fact that the populations there are higher. And so that would be the main reason of that. That was also why there's so much of a greater occurrence. It's not necessarily that there is a specific, sorry, I just want to check. And then it's a similar thing with murder rates. The greatest occurrence are in the highest areas for population, but also you can see like with the Western Cape for murder-related crimes, it's because of the high instances of gang incidences that is frequently reported upon within the Western Cape. Living in Cape Town, I know all about the Cape Flats and things like that. So that's there, and that is reflected within the crime rates. And if you go into specific stations, you'll see them.
What I did is I took the data from the CSV file you sent round, and I had a look at it, and I try to build like an interactive graphic to give some insight into future crime levels. One thing I noticed about the data was there was a few errors in it. I'm sure you probably picked it up as well. So perhaps it'd be good to start with that. Let's just have a look. Can you see the spreadsheet there? Hello?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah. So, there was a couple of A's, so some of these numbers were missing. So I just took the previous date's number. And along the top here, these dates look a bit suspect. It goes 2012, 13, 14, 15, then back to 2012. So I presume there were some errors there, and I corrected those. And I also noticed there's some series seem to be missing from the data set. So initially I was thinking of maybe using a Serima model to try and forecast what these crime levels would be in each of the categories. But I decided that because the data looked a little bit suspect in places, just to do a straight extrapolation for the time being. I've built this dashboard to connect to the data. So can everybody see that again now?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. So it's interactive. On the top left, we've actually got three filters here for the years, for the crime categories, and for the province. And if you select, say, for example, the worst crime category, murder, it shows you what provinces it's most prevalent in, and what it's done over the years in terms of increasing. And again, I think similar to the map you've just shown, Celestine, you can zoom in and have a look at the areas. So if you go to Cape Town, you can go to here, for example, on Mitchell's Plains. You can see directly from that data set, some of the values that have been grouped together. And what I also did was, to get the actual points on the map, I found a website with GPS coordinates for the police stations, and I think it was under Open Africa. So I managed to import that. There were a few errors that I found. So some of these locations are probably not 100% in the correct place, but you can group them, obviously, using that GPS data for the police stations. So some of the gaps in the data you can see directly now. So I've selected only the murder crimes, and if you have a look at the let me just close that. If you have a look at the Free State, there's actually nothing for all of these years from 2008 to 2022. There's no murders there at all. And likewise, if you go to Limpopo, there's nothing reported there, or Mpumalanga, or the Northwest. So, that seems a little odd. And if you select some of the other crime categories, you can see similar gaps in the data. So, I think it needs looking at in those areas. What else can I show you here? Again, we can have a look at the Western Cape. That filters everything out in the Western Cape. That shows you the overall crime levels across a period of time. You can look at kidnapping is quite an interesting one. I mean, that shows some increase in Cape from 2008 to 2022. And you can, of course, group these together. So you can look at, I don't know, attempted murder, kidnapping, all the serious crimes here, and see how they aggregate together over time. So, yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. I don't know if there's any questions at this point. Anybody wants to ask anything, or whether it's self-explanatory?
I don't know if we can ask comprehensive questions now. Would you prefer for us to leave comprehensive questions to the end, maybe?
Yeah, well, I'm happy. Anything, if there's something that you would want explaining or to comment on, I'm happy to take it now.
Yes. So regarding the location data,
Yes.
so you had to combine, I assume, two data sources, right? But
Yes.
When you combined the two data sources, did the quality of the data increase? And if it hasn't increased, then how did you treat the incorrect or missing values when you're doing the modeling? Did you have to remove or replace them? Or yeah, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. It's probably best explained if I show you on the data sheet. So this was the original data sheet, and what I did was, it's in a matrix format, which was a problem for me. So I converted it into a tabular format, so that each record was associated with a particular date. And that was the first step I did. So I'll just show you what I mean by that. So this is the modified data set. So you can see now on a particular day, there's an individual entry for a particular crime at a particular station in a particular province. And I also included the GPS data here. So what I did is I went to the Open Africa site and downloaded all the police stations that I could find, and I did a match just within Excel to try and tie up each station address here with the data I downloaded, and there were some mismatches. I haven't been through and I haven't corrected it, so I'd say maybe 85% of it's probably right. The maybe 20% needs some modifications, and some of them were missing altogether. So I think it has added some value, but it definitely needs a lot of checking.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. And at the next meetup, hopefully there will be no load shedding while we do our property insights and Twitter visualization. Anyway, thank you so much, guys.